Alright, welcome back. So this is video 2 of me going over how I implemented the cat clicker project for Udacity's front-end development course. Last video I covered implementing, setting this up so that the view, there's a main cat view and the octopus is controlling this by calling render and displaying a cat. We started with the first cat in our array, in our model. In this video I'm going to cover setting this up so whenever we click on the cat name, it will update the view according to whichever cat we selected. So I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. One is that actually it's gone now, but I had a count. This was there was another count down here in the old video, and I just deleted a value that was incorrect. It was actually, if I do undo, it was this guy. So if I save this, this is what I'm talking about. So this is just a little bug I had. So I got rid of it, and as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I am actually going to get rid of this because we are now dynamically rendering the cat. We're not using this static info, so the cat is still here. So we're going to get the other thing I'm going to do is I am actually going to change something else real quick. I've been using this little model that I created. I actually have this other model. This is the one from my project, and I'll cover it real quick what I'm doing in here. But basically this model has a little bit of extra information in here. So it's got the name and the count, but it has an alt text that I then put into the display. In fact, we'll add that now into the view, the render. And the other thing too is I'm keeping track of whether or not a particular cat is selected, and so that will give me this functionality here where it's highlighted, the current cat is highlighted. So going back to this, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change in here. There's an image. We have a class, and I'm also going to add alt for the alt text, and then here I'm going to say cat alt text. And so now if we inspect this, we'll see that it's got some alt text just for accessibility. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new view object, and I could incorporate both of them into the same view, but I found it a little easier to work with two. That way I have each of them have their own render. So I'm going to create a new view object, and I'm going to call it listView. And of course I'm going to use, going back to this, I'm going to use the function. Actually I'm going to do something a little different this time. So I've been doing this and then setting the, let's call this list display to the document like I did the other one. And I've been grabbing a hold of wherever I'm supposed to, cat list UL right here. So I'm going to copy this and drop it in here. I'm going to close this. That's okay. So I've been doing this, right? But another way I could do this, just to be, it'd be kind of cool, is I can pass this as a parameter. So I can go DOM element, right? And then in here, I can just refer to that parameter, DOM element. And then I can pass the DOM element itself, the node, in here. And that will essentially do the same thing. First thing I'm going to need is a render. And we're going to need the render, and we'll need, it's function actually. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just to use it. I was going to use arrow function, but nah, I'll just do it old school. Function render, and we need cats. So for every cat, we're going to add an li element, and when we render, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear the current UL. We'll clear it, so we start from the fresh UL, or fresh blank list, and now we will loop through each of these cats in the array. Here I'll use an arrow function. and essentially say list display plus equals, and just for just to start, I'm going to do li, and then I'm going to do actually do like this, li, and then I'm going to say plus cat name plus li. And so now that should work. What we'll need to do is expose this as usual. So return of object, and we'll have render in there. And then what we can do is in our octopus say listView render model, and that didn't work. Assignment to constant variable. Oh, I probably have something in here. Oh wait, this should probably be, no, that should be right. What is the error in? 72. Oh, inner HTML. That's what I want. Beautiful. So there we go. Now I want the styling to be in there, right? Right now it doesn't have the classes and stuff. So what I'll just do is I'll come over here and I will grab in the index one of these guys, copy it, and then later I'll implement the selected. This is just a little added thing I added to mine where I have highlights the selected, and I'm going to come here, and instead I'm going to just drop this in here and then put the quotes, and then we want cat name. So that should be set. Beautiful. Now we have all of the CSS stuff going on in here. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is whenever someone clicks on one of these, it updates the cat. So in order to do that, I'm going to add an event listener to the UL, and I'll come in here, and we'll do like I did before where I have a function called init, and then in here we are going to attach the event listener to the UL on click, and then we need the event, and if we console log the event target, whenever we click on a name, oh, I need to call init. So what I'll do is I'll just pass it, and then in the octopus I will do listView init, and so now, alright, so there's the li, but what we want is a name. So what I can do is in here we can say text content, and now when we click on it we've got the name. So the key will, the idea will be we're going to send this to the octopus. So when someone clicks on this name, we're going to tell the octopus someone has clicked on this name, and the octopus will take that name, find the cat object that matches, and call the cat view and render that cat. So in order to do that, we need to have a function inside of the octopus that the list view can call. So what we can do is we'll have one called update current cat, and we're going to pass this value. That's the name of the new cat we want. Okay. So we'll get rid of this. So now we need this function inside of the octopus. So in here we're going to go function update current cat, and we're going to get a name for that. And what we'll do is we're going to look through, we have selected cat. Selected cat we're going to replace. Right now we're just setting with the first element in the array, but this will be updated and replaced with the cat that's been selected. And what we can do is there is actually a helper function called find, And this accepts essentially a function, and I'll use an arrow function. This is going through every element inside the array, and as soon as it finds a match, it returns that particular element. So it's going through every single cat inside of our model, and what we want is we want it whenever the cat name equals the name provided, then that's the cat we want. Once we have the selected cat, we want to call listView render and render the new selected cat. And in order to do that, we need to expose the update method. For each is not a function. What did I do that? 77. Render cats. listView render cats. Why does it not like that one now? Cat was clicked. Init render. This still works, but when I click on this, cats for each is not a function. Am I not passing? What does it not like in here? Oh, I like to do this. Console log cats. Whenever I get this. And there it is. There are all my cats. So cats is displaying correctly. Something it doesn't like. Okay, found what it is. It's here. I'm calling listView. I don't want listView. I want cat view to render the selected cat. So now this will work. And as you can see, it's updating as needed. So we're good. So now the second thing I want to do is I want to have it so that whenever I select a cat, it highlights here according. So to start, what I'm going to do is I have this, I'm selecting the first cat in the list, and so in the initialization of the octopus, I'm just going to do selected cat selected equals true, and this refers to the value of selected inside each of these cat objects. So if we okay, so now we have that. So the next thing I want to do is I've got this here, this class, and so whenever the cat is selected, I want to apply this class to it, to the cat. So here in our list view, right here, I'm going to need to add a ternary operator in here that's basically going to test to see if the current cat in this list is the one that's selected or not. So what we'll do is we're going to just check for cat selected, and then if it is, we want to attach this. We want to add this class to the class list. If not, ignore it. Now, for some reason, getting an error in here. It's probably because I have an extra one of these. That should be nope. It still doesn't like that. So we go here. Here. That's what it is. Okay. And there we go. So now whenever we select a new cat, we want this to be the highlighted, for example, this one to be highlighted and to remove this one. And that's pretty easy to do. What I can just do is in here, when we select, I've actually added this, but I'm going to redo this just to show what I was doing here. We had this going like this. What I'll do is our selected cat, the current selected cat, which is the first model of the first cat in the array, we're going to set this to false because it's no longer the selected cat. We're going to find a new one in the array, and then once we find the new one, we are going to say that new selected cat selected equals true. And in order to update the display, we'll also have to render with the updated selection. So we'll pass the model. And now, if we click on this, we're good. So that ends part 2. In part 3, I'm going to cover the admin form for the last requirement of the cat clicker, where in the admin form there will be a little, we hit an admin button and a little formal display that will show all of the current information of the currently selected cat. So you can change the name, how many clicks it has, if you want to change that value manually, and you can change the image to point to a new image. So I'll cover that in video 3. I hope this video has helped. If there's anything that you'd like addition for me to cover, just put down in the comments. And if you can just like the video, that would really help me out. Thanks.